Hey, Sack Check family. How are you? This is Ricky, as you know, saying hello. I'm making another video and feeling good. Feeling good. So I've come a long way in my being an adult, and I needed help every breath of the way. That's true. Because I grew up in a home with violence and no discipline, um, psychological, destructive behavior. I was going to say games, but it was no game. It was just people trying to get their way, you know, hurting children through, telling them lies and giving them hope, you know, that things were going to change. So my point is that I just was demolished in that house I grew up in. So my response to every situation, from low grade emotional response to regular daily stuff to something intense, car wreck, loss of a job, your kid gets hurt, all whatever your particular you know crisis or you know challenge is. I respond to them with the mind that grew up in this house that we had bullet holes in our refrigerator. So I remember I said that to some guy. I go, the typical dysfunctional house, bullet holes in the refrigerator. And he looked at me and he goes, bro, I don't know anybody who grew up with bullet holes in the refrigerator. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. So the whole thing I'm getting to is that I've needed help. And man, I've never been ashamed or embarrassed or too much pride or any of that to ask for help. I'm luckily, I think this is why I got sober at 35 years old. And man, immediately realized that I just had no skills. I had no coping skills. I could barely even stand in a room full of people, and that's not an exaggeration. I really was should have been under a doctor's care even in early sobriety because I was having this like catatonic fear, like frozen cold sweat, you know what I mean, like just standing in a room with people. And I had to stand in a lot of rooms with people because I was in rehab. and and going to a lot of 12-step meetings. The 12-step community, love you guys, saved my life, gave me life, and now I'm giving it back in my 12-step community. But anyway, so I learned to ask for help, and today I was just going to touch on parenting, and I've already been talking a lot, so I'll just keep this short. Uh, One of the most important things I ever heard was that this guy, I was having such hard time with my teenage kids while I'm sober, and they were teenage kids, and he said to me, "A teenager is a difficult situation in the best of homes." And I'm so glad he said that because man, I was losing it. And my solution to my daughter asking me for bus change one day was to throw the coffee cup through the front window. You know, because I probably didn't have very much money, and who knows, you know what I mean? I just was a mess, and so I started asking for help. And one of the things that really helped me was trusting my kids, even when they mess up, trusting them. They taught me that. I don't know that. No one taught me that. Just, 13, 14-year olds, I'm like, I'm keeping an eye on them. I'm doing my best, but I'm also trusting them and loving them no matter what, you know. Now, I know the situations for a lot of people can get, to the extreme. Like some teenagers are dangerous to their parents. They're starting to get big, and who knows. Luckily, that Although my daughter did punch me in the nose one time pretty hard. It buckled my knees. That's pretty hard. I'm, I'm 220 pounds. She's 13, man. She caught me right on the button. And, but the rigorous honesty thing really helped us. And we had a situation, I'll just do a quick story and wrap it up. We had a situation where she was getting phone calls, and I had just got the phone. I'm making $8 an hour. They're taking child support out of my $8 an hour. I got 2 kids. My girl is pregnant, and we don't have a car. We don't have a bicycle, and it was tough. My girlfriend had a car that sometimes started, sometime one of those, old dope fiend mobile. But anyways, she's getting these phone calls, and one day she's getting collect phone calls is what she's getting. And I went to her while she was on the phone, and I'm like, I forget what my temperament was, but I'm sure I leaned into her because that's what was modeled for me. You're not raising your voice, but you are leaning into them, and which is bullying. And I know that now. I didn't know that then. And I go, you got to get off the phone, man. I probably talked like that. And she said something to the effect of this. I'm not going to swear, okay? Where she called me a punk, a B word. I'm still on parole. You know what I mean? That's like the worst thing you can say to anybody. And she hangs up. And something happened where she ran out the front door, which wasn't very far because we were in a tiny apartment. And I ran out the door after her. And I go, hey, stop. And she turned around and I said, I'm trying my hardest to love you. And you're treating me so bad. And it hurts so much. And I don't know what to do. And I almost turned around to see who said that, because I didn't talk like that. But man, I was sober and I was praying and I was doing that thing. You know what I mean? I was turning my life over to prayer and the guidance of others. And something came out of my mouth that I usually, I don't know, no one taught me to say that. And why I'm making an emphasis on this is because our relationship, her eyes were wide open. Our relationship changed on the spot. And this respect and love started happening because I was rigorously honest. And it was in spite of myself. Like just from learning to pray and learning to, all kinds of stuff. Be accountable, make amends immediately. Just all these different things we learn in the 12-step community. I was able to say a truth and then discover the power of that truth. And to this day, we had our ups and downs, of course, but I love her and she loves me. And she's 40 now. She was, I say 13, and that's not even true. She was 12 back then. But she was a freaking wildcat. But anyways, good luck to you and your kids. Rigorous honesty. Love them no matter what. And get in touch with prayer. And try to develop a relationship with some sort of God. And you don't have to understand. In fact, make it fun. You don't understand. I don't understand. There's no proof. And remember to listen to the whispers of God. And He's going to whisper to you, and your job is not to ignore it. This is Sack Check, and that's all for today. Bye.